It's the father-son road trip from hell as Damian tries to get a little closer to the man who might just be his father. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into Deathstroke issue number 33 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, this is a Christopher Priest story, which means everything's told out of order. We start by seeing Damian and Slade traveling across America incognito. Robin, much like the readers of this comic, don't believe for a second that Deathstroke could be Damian's dad. He says that the paperwork, it's all too clean, too complete, almost certainly faked. Damian believes Deathstroke did it. Deathstroke says he didn't, but overall he's not begrudging the company, especially because keeping Batman's sidekick and son close to him is the perfect contingency. Or, you know, at least that's what he says. Again, Deathstroke has a habit of saying one thing and actually meaning another. That's what happens when you're an emotional cripple, after all. We also see Wintergreen and Alfred meet up in this issue, once again strengthening my theory I've had since the very beginning, and that is that it's these two old guys who fabricated the paternity test in sort of some weird way to try and get both their wards, both their mentees to kind of, you know, straighten up and fly right, only to have it blow up in their face. Deathstroke is on yet another assassination job. This one he's going to have to not only be working against the clock, but against several other forces that are after the same thing. Damian proves quite useful getting up to the target, a guy who runs a bike shop by pretending to be a kid, because, well, he is a kid and it's not that much of a stretch for him. Now that's all pretty straightforward so far, but again, it wouldn't be a Christopher Priest story if it didn't go absolutely nuts about halfway in. You see, this guy owning the bike shop isn't a regular dude at all. He's actually an agent of Spiral. But get this, he's actually not the target at all. In fact, Deathstroke was hired to protect this dude. Moreover than that, Deathstroke actually hid a super weapon on the premises of this bike shop. A dangerous group of terrorists want to try and procure the weapon for themselves, but more importantly than that, supervillain and former Suicide Squad member Nightshade has also been tasked with getting the item. This also gives the writer a rare and interesting opportunity to test the bounds of Deathstroke's power. First up is his Promethean sword, which we've seen can absorb energy, but can it absorb magic? The answer is yes, yes it can. His Icon suit as well, on top of all the other amazing things it can do, apparently it can also keep him from getting dragged into the Dark Nightshade dimension, but just because he can't get dragged in doesn't mean his partner Damian can't. The Nightshade dimension is a twisted horror realm wherein one's worst fears become reality, and you gotta imagine someone like Damian probably has some pretty dark-ass fears. Luckily, Deathstroke goes in after him. Maybe because he secretly cares about the boy who might be his son's well-being, or because Damian actually has the drive that Nightshade is after. Either way, both Deathstroke and Damian put together that this is actually one of those situations where they could probably cut their losses. The guy they sent to protect isn't gonna need protecting anymore, and Nightshade will leave as soon as she gets the drive. Better yet, they give her a fake drive to throw her off the scent. In fact, Damian actually kinda sorta gains Deathstroke's respect in regards to his ability to deceive the opponent. And it's while they're on the subject of deception, Deathstroke has something of a brain blast moment where he figures he may very well have cracked the case of who's trying to set him and Batman against one another. And it's right around there that the comic ends. So that's Deathstroke number 33, everybody, and it's funny for a series that's called, you know, Batman vs. Deathstroke, there was actually no Batman in this issue. Instead, what we were presented with was a gleefully twisted take on the father-son road trip genre. Priest shows us Slade, despite the fact that he screwed up pretty much all of his children, the ones who are still alive at least, he still weirdly in his heart of hearts has a bit of paternal instinct. Damian also has some very understandable there but for the grace of I go moments with Deathstroke, figuring that if Batman never picked him up, never got him to, you know, get his life in order, he very well could have grown up to be someone like Deathstroke. I also find it funny that Damian refuses to kill here in this issue, despite the fact that Adam Glass in the Titans book has made Damian a killer again. I mean, really, if they were gonna run with that, it might actually have been cool to discover that Robin really was Deathstroke's kid. Overall, enjoyable little one-and-done issue, self-contained even for this bigger storyline. I would give it a 7 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's Cape Joel again. Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not take a look at some of these other videos I've been working on from the channel. Then, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel so you always know what's coming out next. And hey, if you like what I do and are feeling in a supportive mood, you can also check out my Patreon link down in the description. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. It would really help me out. So, until we meet again everyone, this has been Cape Joel. I will be back again next time with more great comic content that smacks of greatness. Bye-bye, everyone.